Have you ever had one of those mornings where everything feels completely normal? You wake up, stretch, walk to the window, and look outside. Your house is still standing. The sky looks beautiful, the sun is shining, people are driving to work, children are walking to school, birds are flying peacefully overhead. For one tiny second, everything feels exactly the way it always has. Then, every bird suddenly changes direction. The wind goes silent. For just a heartbeat, the whole world feels strangely still. And then, the air begins to roar. Cars start sliding across the streets. Trees bend until they snap. People are thrown through the air. The ocean starts racing toward the land. And before anyone understands what's happening, the world they've always known is gone. Not because of an asteroid. Not because of a supervolcano. Not because of a giant earthquake. But because Earth has suddenly stopped spinning. I'm Neel, and today we're going to imagine one of the most terrifying scientific questions ever asked. What if Earth suddenly stopped spinning? Now don't worry, this isn't something scientists expect to happen. But thinking about impossible questions often teaches us incredible things about the world we actually live in, because the truth is our planet is doing something extraordinary every single second. Right now, Earth is spinning. At the equator, the ground beneath your feet is moving at over 1,600 kilometers per hour. That's faster than many airplanes. Yet you don't feel a thing. Why? Because everything around you, the air, the oceans, your house, your family, even you, are all moving together at exactly the same speed. It's one of the greatest balancing acts in the universe. But today, we're going to press an imaginary pause button, not on time, not on people, on Earth itself. So, take a deep breath, because from this moment on, nothing will ever be the same again. Imagine. 3, 2, 1. Earth stops. The ground beneath your feet freezes instantly. But something strange happens. You don't. Neither does your car. Neither does the bus driving down the road. Neither do the buildings. For one terrifying moment, everything above the ground keeps moving. This happens because of something called inertia. It's one of the simplest rules in physics. If something is already moving, it wants to keep moving. Before Earth stopped, you were already traveling with the planet. Near the equator, that speed was over 1,600 kilometers every hour. You never noticed because the ground carried you smoothly. But now, the ground has stopped. Your body hasn't. In an instant, millions of people are thrown forward. Cars slam into buildings. Bridges twist apart. Streetlights become flying spears. Glass explodes in every direction. Trees are ripped straight out of the ground. Anything not firmly attached becomes a deadly projectile. Imagine trying to stand while the entire planet suddenly slams on the brakes. Almost nobody could. But even this isn't the biggest danger. Because the ground stopped, the sky didn't. For thousands of years, the atmosphere has been spinning together with Earth. When the planet stops, the air doesn't stop immediately. Instead, it keeps moving, faster and faster, until a giant wall of wind races across the planet. Imagine the strongest hurricane you've ever seen. Now imagine something many times more powerful. The wind becomes faster than the speed of sound. You wouldn't even hear it coming. The sound arrives after the destruction has already begun. Roofs disappear. Skyscraper windows explode. Power lines snap like pieces of string. Cars roll through the streets like empty soda cans. Airplanes lose control. Entire forests are flattened in minutes. The air itself becomes a weapon. Every breath is filled with dust, glass, and pieces of buildings. If you somehow survived the first impact, surviving the wind would be almost impossible. And just when it Seems the nightmare can't get any worse. Something much bigger begins to move. The oceans. And compared to what's coming next, everything you've seen so far was only the beginning. The winds finally begin to slow. For a brief moment, there's silence. You might think the worst is finally over. It isn't. Because water has a memory. Just like the air, the oceans were spinning with Earth, and they don't stop instantly. Across the planet, billions of tons of water continue moving. At first, the waves seem ordinary. Then, they grow, bigger and bigger, until they become walls of water taller than skyscrapers. Cities disappear beneath the sea. Ships are thrown kilometers inland. Entire coastlines vanish in a single day. Some islands are simply gone. If you looked at Earth from space, it wouldn't look like the blue planet anymore. It would look like a planet fighting itself. But this isn't just one giant tsunami. Something even stranger is happening. The oceans are beginning to move to completely new places. Earth isn't a perfect ball. It's slightly wider around the equator because it has been spinning for billions of years. That tiny bulge has helped shape where our oceans sit today. But now, the spin is gone. Slowly, the oceans begin flowing toward the poles. New land rises from beneath the equator. Ancient seafloors see sunlight for the first time in millions of years. Meanwhile, huge areas closer to the poles disappear beneath deep oceans. Imagine opening a world map, only to realize every coastline has changed. Countries lose their beaches. Some cities become islands. Others are buried forever. Humanity isn't just surviving a disaster anymore. It's living on a completely different planet. And the sky is about to become just as strange. Most people think the sun would freeze in the sky forever. But that's not exactly what would happen. Earth would still travel around the sunday without its daily spin. Sunrise would become unbelievably slow. Instead of one normal day, one sunrise and one sunset could take almost an entire year. Imagine standing in endless daylight. Week after week, the sun climbs higher. The heat never leaves. Rivers dry up. Lakes disappear. Forests burst into flames. The ground cracks beneath your feet. Now imagine the opposite side of Earth. The sun never rises. The darkness never ends. Temperatures keep falling. Snow turns into mountains of ice. Entire oceans begin freezing over. Our home no longer looks like Earth. It looks like one of those strange planets astronomers discover around distant stars. But hidden beneath all of this, another danger is quietly growing. By now, most plants and animals are gone. Many cities no longer exist, but one invisible shield still protects what's left. Deep inside Earth, a giant ocean of liquid iron slowly moves around the planet's core. That movement helps create Earth's magnetic field. Think of it as an invisible force field surrounding our planet. Every day, it protects us from dangerous particles coming from the Sunday. Scientists aren't completely sure what would happen if Earth suddenly stopped spinning, but they know rotation helps shape the movement inside the core. If that invisible shield weakened over time, more harmful radiation could reach Earth's surface. You wouldn't see it, you wouldn't hear it, but it would change life forever. Sometimes the most dangerous things are the ones we cannot see. After everything we've imagined, you might think, survival is impossible. For most living things, it probably would be. But there might be one narrow strip of hope. Between the endless daylight and the endless night, there could be a region where temperatures stay just right, not too hot, not too cold. People who survived the first disasters might spend their lives following that moving twilight, always walking, always searching, never settling. Humanity would become travelers again, not because it wanted adventure, but because stopping would mean dying. It wouldn't be the world we know. But life has always found surprising ways to survive. Now here's the part that surprised me the most while learning about all this. Everything we've imagined today is almost certainly never going to happen. Earth isn't about to slam on the brakes. In fact, our planet has been spinning almost perfectly for billions of years. But it is slowing down. Very, very slowly. The moon's gravity gently pulls on Earth, every single day. That tiny pull is adding the smallest amount of time to our days over millions of years. It's so small, you'll never notice it, but scientists can measure it. And I think that's amazing, because it reminds us that Earth isn't a giant rock floating through space. It's a living system. Every sunrise, every ocean current, every season, every gentle breeze depends on our planet continuing a journey that began billions of years ago. We wake up every morning believing the ground beneath our feet is perfectly still. But it isn't. We're standing on a world spinning through space with incredible precision. A world that has never missed a turn. And maybe that's the most incredible part of this story. The greatest miracles aren't always loud. Sometimes they're so reliable we forget they're happening at all. So tomorrow morning, when you step outside, look at the sky for just a second. Remember that you're standing on a planet, racing through space, yet somehow feeling perfectly still. The universe is full of extraordinary wonders, and one of the greatest has been beneath your feet all along. I'm Neel. Thanks for joining me on this journey. Until next time, keep asking impossible questions, because sometimes the most unbelievable questions teach us the most incredible truths.